biggest question when you move to Cincinnati area is, should you live in Ohio side of river or Kentucky side of river? Many people moving to Cincinnati area are surprised that CVG, Cincinnati Airport, is actually located in northern Kentucky. So when you're comparing both sides of the river, the answer is not as obvious as you think. You're comparing lifestyle, commute, taxes, size of the home, and we're gonna dive in this video to explore both sides of the river so you can make the best decision for you and your move. If you're in that stage right now comparing both sides of the river, I put together a relocation guide that breaks it down in a very practical way. All you need to do is click on the link below. Hi, I'm Monika DeRoussel and I am a realtor with eXp Realty. I have been helping clients for over 20 years around Cincinnati area to buy, sell, and relocate. I am here to hold your hand to make confident decision that serves your lifestyle with the best area to live in. This is important. There's not such a thing that one fits it all. Some people will assume Cincinnati is a better choice. Others assume Northern Kentucky is more affordable. But in reality, each side of the river has its own strengths, so it depends how you live your life day by day. So let's break it down. Let's start with one of the most practical factors, commute and traffic. If you work downtown Cincinnati, commute and traffic is the biggest factor to consider. Once you decide to live on northern Kentucky side of the river, morning traffic, especially crossing over the bridge, might be more difficult than ever expected. Now, the good news is that the Brent Spencer Bridge Corridor project is a major regional improvement effort. And long-term, that should help with the traffic flow. But in the short term, commute still matters a lot when choosing which side of the river to live on. So let's break it down. If you commute to work each and every day, you might want to consider living on Ohio side of river to make your daily life easier. However, if you're a frequent flyer and you travel a lot for work, maybe you might want to consider northern Kentucky because Cincinnati Airport CVG is located in northern Kentucky. So who wins? People who travel daily for their jobs downtown Cincinnati might want to consider Ohio side of river. However, if you're a frequent flyer, northern Kentucky might make more sense. Next is access to jobs and business hubs. Cincinnati has a stronger foundation for businesses. Latest regional data shows 7 Fortune 500 companies are located in Cincinnati. So if career advancement and job opportunities are important to you, Cincinnati might have slightly edge. Now let's talk about something as important is your lifestyle. Which side of the river might feel better for you? Cincinnati side of river offers urban, energetic, high-paced lifestyle with a restaurant, bar, sport, art, entertaining. Kentucky side of the river feels a little more relaxed, a little more chill with the scenic views, but proximity to everything Cincinnati has to offer. And that's why this decision is not just Ohio versus Kentucky. It's more, do you want a more urban lifestyle or do you want a little more breathing room while still being close to everything? So if you love restaurants, nightlife, sports, and being in the middle of action, Cincinnati usually wins. But if you want a slightly calmer feel, but still want access to the city, northern Kentucky becomes really appealing. One of the things northern Kentucky has going on for them is views. The best views of Cincinnati are actually happening from the northern Kentucky side of the river. So if you're one of these buyers that is looking for the lifestyle with the upgraded riverfront views, scenic views, and distinctive look of your home, you might give northern Kentucky a little more serious look. Let's get to the most important part of this video, money. So when you're considering money, might appear that Northern Kentucky offers you more value for your dollars. Your dollar is going to stretch a little more in Northern Kentucky than Cincinnati, but it's not as simple as Northern Kentucky is more affordable than Cincinnati. It depends on the city, neighborhood, taxes, proximity to your work, and so many other factors to consider. So before you make the conclusion that Northern Kentucky is more affordable than Cincinnati, make sure you explore both sides of the river. Another super important factor in your decision are taxes. Before you commit to Northern Kentucky side of river or Cincinnati, make sure you understand tax implication. In Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky, we have various taxes, income taxes, property taxes, state taxes. But one thing to remember, the highest tax bracket area in Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky also have the best resale value. Make sure you understand taxes before you commit. So who's the Northern Kentucky best fit for? Northern Kentucky can be a great fit if you want more value for your money, you prefer a slightly less urban feel, you travel often and want easier access to the airport, or you just love skyline views and being close to Cincinnati without feeling right in the middle of it. It can be also a really smart option for the buyers who want to stay connected to Metro but are open to a different pace. So who should consider Ohio side of river? If you work on Ohio side of river and you want to cut your commute and avoid traffic friction, if you want to be closer to major employees, if you love urban lifestyle, food, entertaining, and sports, Cincinnati side might be the one to consider. So if you're considering moving to Cincinnati area and not sure which side of the river is best fit for you, why don't you reach out to us on the link below so you can have a personal guide comparing your lifestyle, commute, budget instead of randomly searching online. And if you want me to give you deeper video comparing specific suburbs, for example, Covington versus Hyde Park, just make a comment, part 2. So if you're moving to Cincinnati, the good news is you have 2 amazing sides of the river to choose from. The question is not which side of the river is better one. The question is which side of river fits you better. If you enjoyed this video, click comment below and we'll see you in the next one.